going on.
Okay, so I will call the meeting to order here at whatever time it is.
12:03.
12:03. And I think we have everybody. Scott is here.
Yep.
Karen, Marie, Marge. So we've got everybody here. All present. Excellent. And we have some minutes from a meeting in December of 2019, which we're approving today because we didn't have them at the last meeting, just because of the changeover in staff. Things got a little confused. Hopefully people have looked at those meeting minutes, and can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
There was some changes should be made.
Okay, let's make the motion to approve first in a second, and then we can make changes. If somebody can make, because we have to just put the motion to approve them on the floor before we make the changes.
Okay, I'll make that.
Is that Scott?
That's Scott.
Okay.
Only male
Scott,
voice.
motion to approve. And is there a second, please?
I second it.
And tell me who you are.
Karen Sherman.
Karen, because I hear the voice and I may or may not recognize it. Karen. Okay. Now, Scott, you have some changes to the minutes you'd like to make?
Yeah. I talked with Lauren about that. My name is constantly misspelled. P-I-E. It should be P-E-I. The poor girl has to fight with the computer on that.
I was going to say, I was sure when I sent the minutes over to her, I had that right, Scott, because
It may be the computer. I have to fight with it myself.
Okay.
And then down the bottom of the page, staff report IV-2. At the bottom, it says they are still independent living. I think that should be there. Are still independent living units.
They are still independent living units, and you think it should say what? I'm sorry.
There, T-H-E-R-E. There are still independent units.
Oh, yes, I see what you mean.
There are.
There. Independent units.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt, but there's a Russell McClure in the participants with his hand raised. Are we expecting a Russell McClure?
No, but let's see if we can hear him and find out
Russell McClure.
what brings him here.
He's in.
Is there a way to let him speak?
Yep. Russell?
Hi, Mr.
Hello?
McClure.
We can hear you. Mr. McClure, did you want to say something?
No.
I'm going to take that as a no, and I'm going to remove him.
Okay.
You gotta go in there.
Okay, any other changes to the minutes, Scott?
No, that's all that I noticed.
Well, she's on a thing right now. Can I take a message?
Okay. With those changes, correcting the spelling of Scott's first name, last name, and changing they to their. May I have a vote to approve those minutes? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed?
What is it?
It's Lewis and Clark.
Any abstentions? They'll just know everyone's
Today, yes. I will
picking
be
up on the Zoom.
You'll come by.
So that was unanimously approved. Okay, and we go from the approval of the minutes to public communication, citizen participation, and we don't know if maybe Russell McClure was here for that. But
Well, he's got his hand raised again. I'm gonna let him back in. I'm sorry.
okay, try it again. Yep, and maybe we need to say something to him.
Yes, hello.
Hello?
Hi, Mr. McClure. Are you,
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, we
Yeah.
can.
Hello.
yes, can you hear us?
Can you hear me? Hello.
Can you
Hello.
hear
Yes,
us?
I hear you.
I can see faces moving. I don't know if you can, if you're muted or hello. Hello. That's a
Hello.
thumbs up. You can hear me.
yes.
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 Hello.
Oh dear.
Hello.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
But maybe he can't
Hello.
hear us.
Hello.
Yeah, I don't think he can hear us. Tabitha, do you have a way to chat with him and ask for
Hello.
his phone number that we could call
Sorry, I
him?
can see faces moving, but I don't know if anyone can hear me or I can hear you.
Yes,
Yes.
nod your heads, everybody, so he
Yes.
sees we're.
Yeah, he can see us, but he can't hear us.
I can't chat with him, so
Can't
Michael.
chat with him, okay?
Michael.
Oh,
Okay, so I'm gonna suggest we just continue on and I will try to figure out how to get in touch with Mr. McClure and see what he was interested in. So Tabitha, I'm gonna move on to staff reports
sure.
and
Um,
let you do the CDGB and program income update.
Sure, no problem. So CDBG, we are at Mystic River Home still. That's the congregate. The sidewalks are almost complete. They're on hold right now because of the cold weather, but they're probably going to start back up again soon to finish those up. That's a holdover from the 2017 grant. So under the 2019 grant, which was the one after that, we've removed the oil tank, the elevator, generator, and fire pump are completed. So they're put in a new elevator and shaft to add to existing capacity. They've replaced the existing generator with a new unit at a higher capacity, and they've replaced the existing leaking fire sprinkler pump on site. The portico and entryway, we are designing a new portico and entryway to be more weather protected for people coming and going, and then also an entryway that the doors would allow for better ADA access. So that was put out to bid and a qualified contractor was chosen. So the notice to proceed was given on that in February. And then the next piece of work is the mini split systems. So the heating and cooling units for the smaller apartments. That the bids have been received on that, and we haven't selected a contractor yet. So that's the next piece of the project that they'll be working on. And then the next round of CDBG funding, we have gotten notice that they're releasing that to apply for. We recently put out an RFP for CDBG services. We have been using ECHO, which is a consultant group that has been helping us with the CDBG. There's so much to it. There's a lot of filing of paperwork and contracted bidding and the construction management pieces. So that's been done by ECHO.
Whoa, somebody's got some noise that's making it hard to hear Tabitha. If
I
you
just
could-
muted him. So where was I? So the next round of CDBG funding, there's a workshop on the 30th. Department of Housing is giving a workshop on what the next steps are, the application schedule, that kind of thing. So we have been working with Andy Woodstock with ECHO, assuming that we'll be working with him in the future, but we're not quite sure yet because we have to wait for that RFP to come back for the CDBG services. So that consultant might change. But we are looking at applying for Grasso Gardens in the next round. That would be new roofs, new siding, new heating and cooling. The interiors are pretty dated. So, they definitely are due for an upgrade. So we'll be focusing over on Grasso Gardens.
So that's with the Groton Housing Authority.
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And other news on the CDBG program income front. So the program income is the pot of money that we draw from for housing rehabilitation projects. So back in 2013, we got a CDBG grant that contributed to that. And then since then, every time we get mortgage payment, it goes back into that revolving fund. So that account is at around $100,000 right now. We are working with an applicant. We have a waiting list of applicants. So I'm working on.
Wait a minute, Tabitha, I'm just confused. I thought you said CDBG income. Did I hear you
Yeah,
incorrectly?
it's a little confusing. So there's a CDBG single project, like the 800,000 or the $1 million that we get for Mystic River Homes, those bigger renovation projects.
Yep.
And in the past, we'd applied for what they call program income funds for rehabilitation projects. So it's a different account. It's revolving.
Okay. It's still
for loans.
CDBG, the Community Development Block Grant Program, but it's a different pot of money for a different program.
Correct.
For housing. Okay. Mm-hmm.
For housing rehab. So things like roofs, boilers, emergency code compliance, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So we have, like I said, we have roughly $100,000 in that account because it's fed by these mortgage payments.
Yep.
We give out loans at a max of $30,000 each. So what I'm looking at right now is an application for a roof and some interior work in town. So that would be funded under that. Another piece of that puzzle is that because it's a Department of Housing, CDBG related funding, we have to do an environmental review for it. So they call it a broad level environmental review where they look at the entire town, and there's a whole bunch of paperwork that goes to it. So we have to renew that every so many years. And right now we're working on that. And then the last piece of that pie is the program income reuse plan, which I emailed to all of you this morning. And I was hoping we could talk about because that needs to be updated every 5 years. And I thought it would make sense for all of you to look at it. It's pretty boilerplate. It just states, what program income is and how we intend to spend it. And then the town council approves it as a policy.
So because I can't see any of you folks, if anyone else has a question, feel free to just kind of jump in, chime in. Don't wait for me to call on you because I can't see you.
So that's it from me on CDBG and program income. And then
Okay.
please ask questions because I'm confused constantly by it.
A lot to take in.
Yeah.
So Tabitha, have you really just gone through new business, all three of those, the affordable housing plan?
No, I did not. That was just
So we're not there yet. We're really just under the staff report for CDBG.
yes.
Okay, just checking. All right. If no one else has a question, I have one, but anybody else have a question?
No,
Okay. The environmental review, Tabitha. I'm
Yes.
just curious. It's the first time I've heard about that. That's something we have to do for the housing rehabilitation program.
Right, so it's something we have to do for all CDBG grants. And what we do is a broad level review and then a site review.
Mhm.
So the broad level review is townwide, like I said, and it takes into account all kinds of things: wetlands, proximity to airports, air quality, transportation impacts, that kind of thing. And then when we look at individual house or individual home, then we have to do a small site-specific environmental review, which is a little bit simpler as well. So these are
Wow.
requirements.
Okay. Huh.
We
Interesting.
don't have to do the broad level every time, though. The broad level we only have to do every 5 years.
Every 5 years. Okay. All right. Good. Well, I'm happy to hear that we'll be, at least our thinking is, that the next round of this big CDBG money for the low-income housing, that we're thinking will work with the Groton Housing Authority to help upgrade Grasso Gardens. I'm excited about that.
Yes, I know.
Can I ask a question? The Grasso
Sure.
Garden, is that, I've seen it from the highway there, Newtown Road, but I've never actually been in there. Is that very low income? Do you have any people that are disabled that live there? Is that also,
Yeah, I think seniors, disabled seniors as well.
yeah, seniors? Oh, what about,
Yeah.
people that are disabled? Are they living in there, the two?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh, it
Karen.
is.
It's very, very low income seniors, and it is open to younger people with disabilities.
It is. Oh, I didn't
Yes,
know that.
it's the Groton Housing Authority, one of the Groton Housing Authority properties.
Oh,
Um,
I didn't
and
know that.
by definition, they
Part
have
of
to
that
be open not just to low income seniors, but to low income people with disabilities.
disability. Yeah. Gee, I didn't know that. So the list must be very long, though.
Well, sometimes they have a long waiting list and sometimes not. So,
Yeah. Oh, that's good. No, thank you for that information.
yep, yep,
Okay.
good. Any other questions, comments? All right. Hearing none. I'm not aware that we have any unfinished business. Does anybody else have any unfinished business they want to ask about or comment on? Okay. Then we can move right into new business and the affordable housing plan, Tabitha.
Sure. So Natalie, thank you for being part of our stakeholder group for the Affordable Housing Plan. This is a requirement from the state. It's somewhat of a recent requirement under a new, 2017 state statute requiring that everyone has a updated affordable housing plan. The town of Groton is above the threshold for required amount of affordable housing in the state. We have a 22% affordable housing, which is fairly high. So we're looking at it in a holistic manner. So not just what the definition of affordable housing is housing that is deed restricted and set at a certain median income, percentage of your median income. But we're also looking at housing that's sort of market rate affordable and what the desire for that is. So we're working with a consultant, RKG Associates. We did a public bid in a selection process to select them. I'm working with Eric Halverson. He's the project manager, and he's started his work with a tour of Groton. He went around and looked at a whole bunch of sites and took all sorts of copious notes. And he is doing, the data analysis piece right now. We have a stakeholder group meeting, a kickoff stakeholder group meeting next week to solicit people's feedback on what they see as the issues in Groton. So he'll be working from that, and then also doing a number of interviews with people throughout the town. So he'll be doing this study throughout the spring. Substantial completion is expected in July. And at the same time, we're also doing a market study with Camoin and Associates. So it's kind of an interesting, it's interesting to be working with both consultants at the same time, and they may be coming up with somewhat different approaches to the question of housing in Groton. But I do think it's great because by this summer, we'll have a lot of information on what our current picture is and what our needs for the future are. And I think it's going to be some really great information. So that's the affordable housing plan. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Yeah, Tabitha, does that include all of those new projects that have been announced in the last few months?
Like the school rehab projects?
The Benham, let's see, the Colonel Ledger's School, the Mystic Oral, and then that one that's been on the books for a long time at 117 and 184, plus the 300 units going in at next to Sushikawa.
Right. So absolutely, it does. For both studies, we've been working a lot with those school rehabilitation projects. There's a lot of units scheduled, so it'll give us a better sense of if that's meeting the mark or we're missing the mark.
Great.
Yeah, I have two granddaughters that work at Electric Boat. One's an engineer, one's, I think she works in accounting. But the influx of younger people that are coming here now, and of course the market is very good for buying houses, which I'll have to put mine up sometime in maybe next October, what I'm planning on. But so the housing is so important for this area, because we don't really have enough for all these young people that are coming in. They're sharing apartments, which my granddaughter does also with another girl. And so it's kind of exciting to know that we are going to have at least some affordable housing come up. Because I can see it in Pawcatuck. That's not a district, but that's an example right there. You've got two huge affordable housing almost finished now. I don't know if they've been there on Route 1 there in Pawcatuck.
You're right, Karen. There's
it's right before
definitely
West.
been discussing how.
And affordable housing for, like I said, disabled people, whether it's a veteran or just like my daughter needs an apartment for that part there. But anyway, it's very important. Yeah.
Yes, Karen, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tabitha, any of those school redevelopment projects, do any of them include some amount of low income or sort of what we consider affordable housing?
No, we don't have inclusionary zoning requirement like the 10% affordable. So they're built to be market rate.
They'll be market rate, not necessarily quote of what we call affordable.
Right. But as Karen said, we have this huge group of people that are employed by Electric Boat, by the sub-base. They're making good money. They may be younger, but
Yep. When you said Groton has 22% affordable housing, which is above whatever level the state requires, what level does the state require?
I believe it's 20%.
20%? Okay.
State
Okay, so we're just a little above what the state requires.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Should I just go on to Neighborhood Assistance Act then?
Yeah, so I think so.
So this is just an update because I thought it would be of interest to the group. The Neighborhood Assistance Act Tax Credit Program. Again, sorry. It's designed to provide funding for municipal and tax exempt organizations by providing a corporation business tax credit for businesses that make cash contributions to these entities. So businesses can receive a credit of 60% of their approved contribution to certain programs, or 100% in the case of certain energy conservation programs approved by the Department of Revenue Services. So this is the applications we have in front of us are from Avery Kopp, Oddfellows, Riverfront Children's Center, Sacred Heart School. They're pretty much all looking for energy efficiency upgrades. In from $50 to $100 to $150,000 each. So what the process is from here is that I take their applications and then I bring them to the town council for a public hearing. There needs to be a public hearing on the applications, so that's set for May 4th, and then those go up to the state as well. So I'm not really that involved in it, other than I shepherd the applications through, but it's a good thing that the town does, and it provides some needed tax incentives to businesses.
Where does the funding for that come from?
That's the state's Department of Revenue Services.
State Department of Revenue. Okay.
Department of Revenue Services. Okay, so the state provides some money to towns, and
Correct.
the towns can then provide this money to provide the assistance. This is
Right.
the first I've heard of this, so this is a new program to me. I'm just trying. Could you go back, Karen? Could you go back, Tabitha, and just repeat kind of what you said there in the beginning?
Sure, it's a little confusing. So the Connecticut
No, mostly it just went by quickly, so I just need to try to get it in the minutes and get it in my head.
Sure. The tax credit program is designed to provide funding for municipal and tax exempt organizations by providing a corporation business tax credit for businesses that make cash contributions to these entities. Businesses can receive a credit of 60% of their approved contribution to certain programs, or 100% in the case of certain energy conservation programs approved by the Department of Revenue Services.
Interesting. Programs, okay. Tax credit, okay. And the list of applications: Avery Kopp, Oddfellows,
Riverfront Children's Center,
Riverfront,
Sacred Heart School.
Sacred Heart School. Interesting. Okay. And they would be using the money to do primarily energy conservation projects, and they can each get up to 100,000. Is that what you said?
I don't want to speak out of turn on what the cap is.
Okay.
I don't know offhand. I'd have to look it up.
Okay. Not a problem. So the town council will have a public hearing on May 4th.
Yes.
And to do energy conservation upgrades. Okay. Again, anybody else have questions, comments?
A suggestion.
Suggestions?
Perhaps Mr. McClure should call one of us, and then he can get whatever he's trying to get to us into the gist mill here.
Yeah, the question is, we don't seem to be able to communicate with him.
Well, if he had one of us phone number, maybe he could call that number.
Yes, I'm actually with the FBI, and I've been placed in this call as part of a intelligence gathering operation.
For what, sir?
See, I'm not
Yeah, I'm
sure.
gonna remove him at this point because that's a very cryptic answer to me.
Yeah.
I can't reveal details of the operation, but I do work with the financial department of the FBI.
Sorry.
If he can hear us, Tabitha, Mr. McClure, can you hear us?
You must be able to hear us.
No.
Yes, I can hear you.
You can hear us. Can you give us a phone number or some contact information that one of us can call you and speak with you after the meeting?
Would you like to speak with my handler?
I'd like a phone number that I can call and speak to someone.
That's absolutely no problem.
What?
If you'd like our local bureau office, it's 1-800 225 5334.
Thank you. Okay, Tabitha, you do whatever you think you need to do.
I'll just, thank you, Mr. McClure. I'm gonna just remove his permission to talk.
Can I say something?
Sure.
He has a very nice accent. I must give him that. But in my working knowledge of the FBI or any other federal agency, they don't call you. They don't come in at your Zoom meetings. They contact you personally at your place of work. And if they wanted to know something about the town of Groton, there's a whole town to come and talk to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's gone.
We don't want to
Okay.
really.
He's still a participant. I just took him off the panel.
Good.
Okay. Okay, so we went through the Neighborhood Assistance Act information. Does anyone have questions for Tabitha or any more comments about that? Okay, if not, Tabitha, let's move to the program income reuse plan.
Okay, so I sent this to the group as an FYI this morning. Did you all have a chance to get that?
Yes.
I'm not getting any emails from you.
Okay,
I
Margie.
did get the invitation, but I got nothing else.
Margie, what's your email address?
Grandma G, GRANDMAG, 1948 at att.net.
So that's the one we've had on file. So it's
Exactly, and I don't get anything.
1948, and you did not get the emails.
No.
It's
When I
funny.
started logging on, I didn't have either the minutes of last meeting or the notes you just mentioned. But they may be in there now.
I got an email from the Groton Town staff inviting me into the Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
And from Lori.
Lauren Post.
Lauren, I'm sorry. Yep, Lauren Post. I have one. And I can't print this because right now my printer isn't working, so I'm just up the creek here.
I did
Okay,
send it
but
to
you
your.
from Lauren Post, because the one from Lauren
I did
Post,
get one from Lauren, yes. And
that is
you
the
know,
one that should have the agenda and the minutes of that December 2019 meeting. I believe are in that email, Marge.
I
Yes.
got I got the agenda. That's it.
You know what? The same email that had the agenda
Yeah. the
had
vote.
those minutes of the December 9th, 2019 meeting.
Okay, hang on, way
if-
down the
if you
bottom.
just
I
keep
I
scrolling
wasn't looking
down.
any. Yeah, I wasn't looking any further than the first big box.
Gotcha.
Okay, yep,
Yep,
I see
do
that there now.
sometimes.
Okay,
Okay. So,
yep. That's on
and
me,
then-
sorry.
And then Tabitha, just today, Tabitha, you sent the program income reuse plan?
Yeah, this morning, and it did go to Grandma G at 1948 at att.net.
Yep, so you might check, it might have just come
Yeah.
an hour
Yeah,
ago, Marge.
I'm checking, I've got nothing's come in today. Let me check my spam, see if it ended up in there.
Yeah, because that one was from Tabitha Harkin, T. Harkin.
No,
Hmm.
nothing.
Okay,
Nothing
she
in
does-
spam, nothing, nope.
okay. We will resend that one to you.
Okay,
Tabitha, can you send it even as we're talking?
I can.
I don't dare leave the scene here.
No, but since Marge is on her phone, she can check her email.
yeah, I have my email up, and I'm on my
Yep.
phone.
Okay, I just sent it again.
Okay, I'll let you know if anything comes through.
Okay, and in the meantime, we'll let Tabitha tell us about this.
Okay, now I do have one from Tabitha.
There you go.
Great.
Okay, great.
So
Well,
what that
looks
is
like I'm in business.
awesome. Thank you, Margie. What it is a 2-page memo, basically describing what the program income program is, what we propose to use it for. It uses boilerplate language from the Department of Housing, so it's nothing too provocative. But we'll need to have this approved through council, so I wanted you all to take a look at it and offer me any comments that you might have.
Oh,
And basically what it says is the money that comes to us from the CDBG, or the Community Development Block Grant, the money that comes to us for helping people to rehabilitate their homes, which you had just talked to us about. It basically says all the income from that. Well, it's a little confusing to me, Tabitha, because on the one hand, it says all the money will be used to create a revolving loan fund, which I understand.
Correct.
But it does allow that a certain amount of it can be spent, for instance, on administrative expenses.
Yes. So we
and
do. Right.
Mhm.
So we have a consultant who oversees our program in our, I call it housing rehab because program income doesn't make any sense to me. We have a housing rehabilitation specialist that we work with that helps, process those applications and oversees the construction of those projects. So we pay him out of that fund as well. And if I have any trainings or anything related to it, that comes out of the fund.
But it's a little confusing to me the way it's written, because on the one hand, it says program income generated, all the town of Groton will use program income generated to create a revolving loan fund, but up to almost 50% of the funds can be expended for these administrative and soft costs. Am I reading that correctly? For non-revolving activities, grants, program costs.
So actually, soft costs cannot exceed 12%. Oh, it says that under general administration.
Yep.
cost.
But then the next sentence, the total expended for non-revolving activities,
So that-
which includes the grants, which I assume are the grants to people to fix their houses.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. It is a little confusing.
Shall not exceed 49%. Program year. Yep, so if you're looking for feedback, that's my feedback is
No,
I'm
that's
a
good
little,
feedback. Thank you, Natalie.
I'm a little confused. That makes it
Yeah, I'll
sound,
circle back on that.
okay.
Because I understand it's 12% is the cap. I don't,
On soft costs, and that's fine,
Yeah.
that was clear. But I don't know why the total that can be spent on the grants program costs can't exceed, this sort of says we're only going to spend 50% of the total funds.
right, and I don't think that's right. So I need to double check that. That's a good catch.
Okay, thank you. Revolving loan fund. But other than that, I think I sort of understood it in a very broad brush way. And anyone else, comments, questions? And we all
It says that-
understand.
I have one question. It
Sure,
says here the amortized loans are up to 3%. Are they still that high in this day and age for people that need this kind of help?
I have to check.
Okay.
And at least it says up to 3%, so. it
Up to,
certainly
right.
Could be lower.
And does that go by income?
Yes, it does. You have to qualify.
Okay.
80%.
Okay. And the percentage charged for the loan, that also is like a sliding scale by income?
No,
I don't think we charge really, do we?
no, we just give it's a deferred, no payment loan. So.
Okay, so. Huh. Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a wonderful program for you have to be of relatively low income to qualify
Of course.
for it.
That's why I was
Yeah.
asking why, if they were paying 3% of it,
Mhm,
with
mhm.
very low income that qualify, that would be a lot. But we're we've deferred all of it for everybody, or just?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it's completely deferred until the sale or transfer of the property. And then that's when it gets paid.
Maybe that should be in here too, so that anybody else would know that that's how it gets repaid.
Well, it says,
after, over and above the 15 years. If somebody passes away, the house gets sold, and that money would come out of that.
yep, the line right above the 3% marge says will be financed as deferred payment loans, recaptured at time of transfer,
At the time.
refinance, or sale.
Right.
I
Okay.
think that's where it's
That's what I was
saying
talking
that.
about. Yep.
Yep.
Thanks. Yep.
Yep.
I was skimming quickly, and I
That's
saw that
okay.
3%, and I'm going, whoa, wait a minute, that's a little high.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep. No, you just got this. So you're
I
just
did.
reading it as we go.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
Got it.
I'm skimming as quickly as I can.
Sure. Take your time. We're fine. It's the last item on our agenda. We're fine. Good. And so the town council will be approving this, Tabitha, and the Department of Housing has to approve this.
Yes.
That's what I see. Good. Well, I think it's a wonderful program. Do you happen to know, Tabitha, how much I mean, I know a certain amount of the money is, it's been used for loans. And did you say there's enough that you are looking at an application from someone for like a
Yeah.
$30,000 loan?
Yep. We
Okay.
have about 100,000 in there right now.
Okay,
So we are due to give some out.
okay, excellent. Because I have a recollection from Susan, we're not allowed to have too much sort of in the balance.
Yeah,
Right. So we have talked about that. We're supposed to spend it down to 35,000 by the end of the fiscal year.
Okay,
We may not be able to do that. And at that point, Department of Housing can take that money back. But apparently they never do. They very rarely do take that money back. So
okay,
we work towards that.
okay. Why wouldn't we be able to spend it down? Do we not have enough applications or?
Right. Not having appropriate applications, work
Okay,
not being completed in time.
okay,
Generally, we deal with one application at a time. Right? I'm not juggling several applications. So
mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, great. Well, these are some wonderful programs that the town operates to help with low-income senior and disabled housing, to help people fix up their own homes who can't afford it, and to help some of these nonprofit agencies who want to do energy upgrades. I know it's hard for all of those groups to afford those things, so that's terrific.
maybe we should publicize it a little more. Perhaps people in need may not be aware that we have such a program.
There's a good question. How do we publicize the program, Tabitha?
well, we don't publicize it. We do have, it's on our website. People are aware of it. I do get, calls every so often, but we don't proactively publicize it. I do have a waiting list right now. So
Oh,
Uh-huh.
good,
Oh, yeah, of course.
yeah, I've got about 6 people on a waiting list.
good. Because
Okay.
elderly in need may not be able to get in on the web and, access the information, perhaps through the library or social services.
That's a good idea.
Good suggestion, Scott. Thank you.
Welcome.
No, library, social services. I'm sure our social services, our human services, Marge Vondulis and the human services people are aware of the program. I would imagine that they've
Or possibly through
directed.
some of the churches too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good suggestion. Okay. Great. And Tabitha, I think you said the end of March, you'll be going to the workshop on the Cdbg grant.
Yes, I will.
Terrific.
They want me to present on the 2017 grant. So I put together a little PowerPoint to tell them, what we did for the last go round.
Wonderful. And who will that presentation be for?
Oh gosh, I think it's just statewide folks that are applying to Cdbg.
Oh,
Department of
okay.
Housing asked us to put it together. So
Wonderful. Great. Okay. Anything else for today? Anybody has questions? We need a secretary going forward. So I would ask people on the group to consider if someone would be willing to be secretary. We don't have to motion that today, but at the beginning of the next meeting. It would be good if we could. And there is a gentleman, Michael Collins, who's possibly interested in coming on as one of our alternates. We have 2 vacancies for alternates. So if anyone knows someone who'd be willing to join us, we are looking for 2 alternates. And if it works out, Michael will apply for one of those positions and he'll be with us for our next meeting in a few months. Let's see, does anyone?
Do we have a date for
s-
that meeting?
We do. June 16th, I believe.
Okay.
June 16th, the 3rd Wednesday of the month at noon. And then September 15th and December 15th.
Okay, that sounds good.
Those are the dates we have lined up. If that December meeting, as it approaches, if we decide, ooh, we'd rather meet a little earlier in December, if that's getting too close to the holidays for people, we can look at that as that approaches.
Maybe by then we'll be able to meet in person. If not, sitting real close, maybe we could use the town council room
Yes,
where
yes.
all the seats are, tables are so far apart.
Yeah, good question. Let's ask this group, how many people in this group would be comfortable being in a room together with masks and distanced?
I
Even
would.
For Marge would.
I
Yeah.
would.
Me
And
too.
Marie.
Oh, yes, I would too, yes.
I've had both shots, so yeah.
Great.
I'm having my second one next week.
Tabitha, did you,
Yep.
you didn't get a shot, did you?
No, I'm probably gonna be the last to get a shot. I live in Rhode Island, but
Protected for you.
yeah, we're all in the office. We wear masks. In that room, you can space out.
I think that's great. Even my husband, he's shellfish commissioner, so he'll be in that room too.
Yeah.
Not the same day, though.
So for our June meeting,
Good job.
well, I don't know if the town is controlling this or if we're controlling this, but
Yeah.
if the town says it's okay, would this group then want to try to do the June meeting in person?
Sure.
I would.
Yeah,
Okay, and anybody object?
Okay.
No objections. Okay. So Tabitha, you let us know if the town says it's okay for us to have the meeting in person. It sounds like our group is comfortable doing that in June.
Yeah, I think it depends on when they open back up to the public.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I think Mr. Burt was saying if the numbers stayed good at the end of the month, he was going to open back up.
There you go.
I think he said that at the last meeting.
Okay. Yep. So,
All right.
the notice of the meeting will tell us whether we're going to be in person or Zoom.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
good.
Good.
Can I ask you about Natalie?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Can you send a Xerox copy of the minutes today?
Of today's minutes?
Yeah. Could you?
Yes, when we have minutes from today.
Yeah.
I can go ahead and just send some
Over everything.
minutes.
I didn't get, some of the things I really don't understand, but if you could send the minutes, then I can,
Sure,
good.
absolutely.
Anything that needs to be for the meeting should be out the day before, not on the day of. Because that gives you time to review it.
Yeah, that's my fault. I apologize for that. I won't do that again.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fiery.
and this is a case where because we just got it, if we weren't ready to kind of say, oh, it looks okay to us, then we can always say we need to look at it again next time. So we're not under the gun here. So all right, everybody. Anything
Yes,
else
ma'am.
for today? Well,
Motion to adjourn?
Everybody stay healthy. I'm glad everybody's got their shots. I think Scott just made a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Marge.
Margie.
Yep. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstention? Okay, so we are adjourned at 1 o'clock.
And thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you,
you, everyone.
Marge and Karen. I know
You
it was a little.
June at the
struggle.
table.
Stay safe.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
for getting here with this
Bye.
technological struggles, Marge and Karen. Thank you.
That's why we're going back to in-person.
I know.
Uh,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Especially with this
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.